Hi, everybody. Today we are going to be learning about what points, lines, rays, and angles are. For our next chapter for math, we are going to be getting into geometry. So if you're not somewhere where you can move around, make sure that you're somewhere you can move around, because today, to help us remember these few different things, we're going to be using our arms. I'm going to be showing you some different things with your arms that you can do to remember them. So I hope that you can see me on your screen, and I hope that you can also see the PowerPoint. That is my goal here. And then I am hoping that you are able to also see my arms, because I'm going to be showing you that. So if you have anything that you are trying to let's see, I think that'll work the best. I'm trying to figure out how to lay out the screen the best here for you to see everything. So let's give this a try. So first, we are talking about what are these things that are on my screen. So which ones of these are points? Which ones of these are lines? Which ones of these are rays? All of that. So I want you to point on your screen to the one that you think is a point. That one's kind of simple, right? Right here is a point. Then we have lines. When you're looking for a line, can you see a line on there? I bet you're thinking, there's a lot of lines on there. I'm going to teach you some specific kinds of lines here moving forward. So points, lines, rays. Have you ever heard of what a ray is? You're going to find out today. Points, lines, rays, and line segments is another one, or an angle. We're going to learn about all those things today. So here we go. Here is a point and the definition for a point. But before I tell you the definition for a point, I want everybody to hold up their fist. There is our point. Anytime that we are talking about a point, we are going to be talking about our fist as that point. So a point is, sorry, my screen got messed up here. A point, the definition of point is a specific spot or location. So when we're talking about a point on a piece of paper, we're just talking about that little spot, or on a number line. If there's a dot on it, we're talking about just that one spot on there. So everybody show me your point. There you go. And points are labeled or named with capital letters. So a point could be called capital A. A point could be called capital S. A point could be called any letter in the alphabet. We could say, show me point B. Here's point B. Let's say that I had a picture that had 4 points on it and they were called different things. I could say point to point M, and you could point to that one point on the piece of paper. You would know what I was talking about from there. So points have names. Then we have lines. So let's talk about what a line is. On this line, you're going to notice that there are arrows in both directions. So it goes on and on in both directions. You can't see the end of my arms on here, but a line goes on and on in both directions. So to show that it goes on and on in both directions, I'm not going to put points on the end of my arms. I'm going to keep them open. I don't know if I stand up, if you can see my whole arms, but there you go. See how my hands are open. So it shows that I have a line that goes all the way from over here, all the way through to over here, and it goes on and on in both directions because I do not have points at the ends of my hands. My hands are open. So show me your line with your hands open on either end, straight arms, straight line, hands are open. That's our line. So a line is a collection of points. So when I think about a line, I want to think about that there's a point here, there is a point here, and here, and here, and here, and this line is made up of a whole string of points. It's kind of like when we take a piece of string and we fill it up with beads, right? Those beads are like our points. So our line's going to go on and on. It has no endpoints. So when we're talking about just a regular line, we are talking about a line that does not have dots at the end. So think about that. It means it goes on and on forever. It's kind of interesting. Then we have endpoints that we're going to introduce here. So So you showed me your point. Everybody show me your point. Everybody show me your line. My hands are open. They go on and on forever in each direction. But now when I take my points and I put them at the end of my line, see how my hands are closed? This line, has endpoints. My hands are closed. So endpoints are these dots at the end of the line. So when we're talking about endpoints, we're talking about the dots at the ends of the line. So a line with dots at the end, those dots at the end are called endpoints. That's marking that our line ends, that our line has an ending to it. So what happens if a line is not going on and on in both directions? I'm going to stand back up for you. What happens if our line is not going on and on in both directions? What happens if our line gets endpoints at both ends of it? Sorry, I'm trying to show you this on my computer. See, it's going on and on in both directions. My hands are open. It's a straight line. That's called a line segment. So when we have endpoints at the end of our line, that's called a line segment. So everybody show me your line segment, which means you have dots at both ends and your hands are out. So we have a straight line with dots at the end. So line segment, have your hands with endpoints. Then show me a regular line, meaning your hands are open, but out to the side. You just can't see them, so I'm showing you. So we have line segment with dots at the end. And then we have just a line where our hands are open. It goes on and on in both directions. Hoping that the hand signals help you to remember what these are. So a line segment is a portion of a line with a specific start and end point. So we think of those hands as our start and end, or our start and end. It doesn't matter which way it goes, okay? Then we have a ray. Now, this is a word that you maybe think of like, oh, the sun has rays. Okay, think about that. The sun is kind of like the center or the dot or the end point. And then the rays go off on and on forever in a direction. So guess what? A ray has one end point. So make one end point. And then in the other direction, it goes on and on forever. So my ray has one end point and one hand open. It doesn't matter which way you do it. They're open like this. You just can't see them all on here. So I have an open end over here, and then I have a closed end over here. This is a ray. So a ray has one end point and then goes on and on forever in the other direction. So take a second. Everybody show me your line segment. Use your hands. Show me your line segment. Remember, a line segment has two endpoints. Show me that. Okay. Then everybody show me your line. Goes on and on forever in each direction. Okay. Open hands, arms out. And then everybody show me your ray. One endpoint, one open end going in the other direction. We're going to play. You'll probably play a game with your class about this. So just keep that in mind. You're going to want to practice these as you go. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I was writing myself a note. Then we have a vertex. Have you ever heard of the word vertex? Think about that. A vertex is that little spot there. Now, what does that mean? That little spot is a common endpoint between two rays. So what we're going to show a vertex is we're going to use like our body or the center of us as our vertex. I'm the point. And it shows that that's an endpoint. So it kind of is the stopping point for it. And so one arm is going to go on and on forever in one direction. It doesn't have to be straight out this time because we're talking about a bending. And then one arm can go in the other direction still open. So we have two open hands, but they're going in different directions. They don't have to be straight. This just shows us that two lines are coming together. If you look at the PowerPoint over here, vertex is the common endpoint. So when we're talking about a vertex, we're talking about the one spot right here where my hands come together. If these are both my lines, or my rays going in outward directions, my vertex is where they meet. So a vertex is the endpoint that's shared by two rays. That one's a little hard to show with our hands, but we can do our best by showing our hands are open and they go out in different directions to make different angles. So like this, here it is, and I am the vertex. I'm the middle of it. I hope that makes sense. Okay, then we have an angle. An angle, you see three different angles here. An angle is formed by two rays. So when we're talking about an angle making two rays or having two rays, we're still using that same thing we just did for our vertex, where when this is it, I am the vertex, and this line goes out in one direction, and then this line goes out in one direction, on and on forever. My hands are open, so they go out in different directions. Now, these are found, the angle that we're talking about is the distance between my arms. So from here down to here, my angle goes like right in this area right there. So that is my angle. The vertex is me, I'm the point, but my angle goes between my two arms. So what are some of these different kinds of angles? We're going to use our arms again. You're going to get good at this. Use your arms and show me what it would look like if I had one arm straight out and one arm straight up, as best as you can straight up. So I have one arm straight out and one arm straight up. This is called a right angle. Everybody do this and say right angle. Now, since this is a right angle, you see it as my picture on there. A right angle is an angle where there's 90 degrees. So from this arm down to this one, if it's straight, pretty close there, like the picture in the PowerPoint, you will see that I could make a square if I was drawing. Look at where my mouse is. If I drew a square right here, that angle would make a square. So a square can fit into a right angle. So that picture shows me a right angle, and your arms where one is straight up and one is straight out shows you a right angle. That's a right angle. Now, another kind of angle that we're going to use is called an acute angle. An acute angle is one arm, doesn't matter where, and one arm. It's smaller than 90 degrees. So here's my right angle with 90 degrees. An acute angle is anything smaller. So I like to think of, oh, it's so cute. Like it's a small little baby or a tiny little puppy. It's a cute angle. So cute things, little things are small and they're cute. So an acute angle is going to be a small angle. Okay. So less than 90 degrees or less than a right angle. Then we have an obtuse angle. Obtuse angle, so we had anything that's smaller than 90 degrees as an acute angle. Then we have a right angle. Now anything bigger, you can't see my hand there, anything bigger than 90 degrees is called obtuse. So an obtuse angle is anything that gets bigger than, so here's my 90 degrees, anything that's bigger than that is obtuse. So an obtuse is larger or greater than a right angle. So today you learned a lot of different words. I want you to think about those words here. We have a couple, we just have, I think, one or two more I want to talk about, and then I'm going to kind of ask you to show me those. So then we have intersecting. So if we have two lines that intersect, to intersect, I like to just go like this, cross my arms as if they were two lines. Intersecting right here is where my arms touch. So this spot right here, where my arms touch, shows you that these two lines that my arms are making are intersecting, they're crossing. So when lines intersect, they meet. So when two lines cross each other, it's called intersecting. So everybody show me your intersecting lines. Okay? And then we have parallel lines. Parallel lines are the opposite of intersecting. Intersecting means they cross. Parallel means they never touch. No matter how far they go, on and on and on, they are straight lines and they will never run into each other. So you can see those lines are straight there in the picture. Parallel lines will never, ever, ever touch. Okay? They stay the same distance away from each other the whole time. We have another kind of line here that runs into each other. These are called perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines are lines that cross again, but when they cross, we get that square corner. See how I have the square corner here? So perpendicular means that they cross exactly straight up and down and straight across, or it could be turned or something, but they still make a square in the corner. So perpendicular lines are lines that make a 90-degree or a right angle in the corner. That's called perpendicular lines. So now let's do a little quiz for you. I want everybody to show me your point. What's a point? Show me. There it is. There's a point. Everybody show me your line segment. Remember, what's a line segment? Are my hands open or are they closed? My hands are closed. It has endpoints and my arms are straight out. So that's what I'm going to do with some of you in the days to come is I'm going to have you show me those things as kind of a game. We'll say, show me a line segment. You'll do it really fast. Show me your perpendicular lines. What does that mean? Oh, that means when they cross, they make a right angle. So my arms are making that square where they meet. And we'll make it into a game. But what you're going to do today is you are going to go and do the next thing here for you on Schoology. And it's a little quiz about these different things that you just learned about. So go ahead. You will do a great job on it and think about, oh yeah, what are those things that we were practicing in that video? It almost looks like you're doing karate. It's kind of fun. So good luck and show us what you know.